Do you feel that the Nordschleife is too easy for you? Well, I don't, but in case you do, I got you covered, cause today we're gonna see what happens when you combine the Nürburgring Nordschleife with a rally stage. Yes, you've heard me right. To try this delicious combo, we're gonna grab none other than the Lancia 037, a Group B legend that will make sure that will not arrive in one piece. So without further ado, let's see how it drives. It's time to dive into the green hell, or should we call it actually the brown hell? Since the Nordschleife is normally called green hell, but with all that, well, gravel we can see, I think we're gonna call this the brown hell. So just here, after this right-hander, our timed lap will start. Oh, and what? Well, what a bad beginning for our lap. But now we will see just how fast we'll be able or not to survive with a Lancia 037 around the gravel Schleife. And right off the bat, I can tell you, this is gonna be a challenge because this thing, well, it's a rally car from the 80s. So, of course, it drives, well, like a nightmare and has way too much power. But that's actually what makes those cars just so fun to drive. And here in those little corners, left, right, left, it's just so satisfying to throw the car around. And it just makes me regret that I have no idea how to use a handbrake in rallying, because if I could, I think it would be even next level. So now we come on the first straight on the Nordschleife. I mean, if we can call this a straight, but for Nordschleife standards, I can tell you this is a straight line. The Group B cars were great when it came to handling in the corners for rally cars, but on a straight line, well, they are super slow. I mean, right now, we're around the maximum speed you can reach with this Lancia 037, so it's gonna be quite painful on this long straight, and especially on the last long straight of the track. But I mean, it's part of the experience. I mean, after all, bringing a Group B rally car on the Nordschleife was already a bad idea. So now comes quite a tricky corner here. You're going downhill, right-hander, but this is so satisfying. And now comes a real challenge. We're gonna have to try not to end up in the barrier up there. So we're max speed, maxing out here at 185 kph. And let's dive right in. I can also tell you, this car loves to be thrown around with some... Whoa, that was some hell of an on this year. But as I was saying, this car loves to be heel and toed into the corners. It's just so satisfying to rev match, even though I think this car didn't really need it, because from what I've read, but I'm not sure, it had some kind of early auto rev feature, but I can tell you it's way more fun to rev match it manually and to do some heel and toe. Oh, that is... Oh, that is so satisfying. That is so nice. This thing loves to drift. You really feel, wow, that Group B soul in here. And actually, well, the Nordschleife makes for an amazing rally stage. I mean, it's not a conventional one for sure, but it's so fun. And let's continue as we hit another quite fun turn here on the uphill. This right-hander is so satisfying with the compression, you have so much grip. Well, here on the gravel Schleife not so much, but normally you have so much of grip. So careful around here, we're arriving, well, quite fast actually, for the fact we are not on tarmac. So we're gonna take it nice and slow. Can we make it drift a little bit? Well, we can make it spin. Well, that is embarrassing to say the least. You didn't see nothing. Now we are on the second long straight, so again, we're quite restricted by the max speed of this car. But again, this is a straight line for Nordschleife standards, because basically when you bring a GT car here, you can just go full on the throttle without lifting. But with a rally car, this is quite far from a straight line, I can tell you. And look, I mean, look at this. The Nordschleife combined with gravel makes for some amazing scenery. I mean, I would drive there every day if this thing existed for real. It's just so nice. And so slow around this corner also. And now comes the carousel. Will I be able to make it. Well, you know what? It was sketchy, but actually, it works. I thought I would just go flying out of this, but actually not too bad. So I will not complain. And we will go quite slow here as we approach my favorite part of the Nordschleife, which is, wow, those corners are just so satisfying. You can just fling the car around and hope to not die. And most of the time, well, you actually survive. It's quite astonishing, but you can carry a lot of speed on this part of the track. Not so much when there's gravel, but it's not too bad. This is so good. I have to tell you guys, you gotta... Well, you didn't see that, but what you have to see is this thing in person. You really have to try this mod, and as always, I will put it... I will put it into the description for you to download and try out. I'm sure the modder will be happy if you have a look at it, because this is just so cool. The concept is actually, well, not so bad after all, because the Nordschleife makes for a very challenging normal racetrack for GT cars, but it makes actually for quite an easy rally stage. So if you want to have fun with a bit of a slower car on the Nordschleife, well, going to the gravel Schleife is maybe not such a bad idea. Oh, it's just so amazing here. I'm really full sending it actually, and I'm very surprised that it works as well as it does. Whoa. Well, most of the time you didn't see that. This car would be long gone if I was driving like this in real time. So that was the second carousel we just crossed. Actually quite trouble-free. I must say I'm surprised. That didn't go as expected. Here we're gonna be careful because this is basically the last corner before the real long straight on the Nordschleife. And when you drive here with a GT car, you really want to carry the most speed you can. Here it doesn't really matter because this thing is slow as hell in the straight line anyways. For reference, with a GT car, you're actually 100 kilometers an hour faster on this straight, averaging around 276 kph, and here we are at 170, so painfully slow. I mean, it's quite fast for a rally car. And now comes the end of the straight. What will the time be? Well, I mean, it looks slow because we're already over 9 minutes. For reference, when I drove here with the Chaparral 2E, my first video on the channel, I was under 7 minutes, but it was a normal track and not gravel. So let's see. Careful in the last corner, trying not to slide away. And, well, I didn't see the timer, so I have no idea what the exact time was, but it was around 9 minutes and something. Well, that was quite intense. I can tell you guys, this is something you gotta try out. So as always, mods are in the description. And well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until the next one, guys, I wish you a beautiful day. Bye bye.